Today I got a game against Tommy. I'm pretty sure most of you know who he is. He's a pretty successful YouTuber. Um, his link will be in the description. I lead off with a Armaldo, and he's going to lead off with his Bayonet. And on the first turn, normally I'd set up Stealth Rocks, but I predict him to trick because I know this set, and he tricks me a Choice Band. So I go for the X-Scissor, knowing that's going to do some decent damage because now Armaldo's already got a pretty decent attack stat, and with Choice Band, he's got, a lot more power behind it, and it almost does half, but the Bayonet takes it. And so now I know I can't 2-hit KO him, so I'm just going to switch out, go into my Cacturn, or rather my Gardevoir, and he completely just Shadow Claws away and gets a critical hit on me and kills me. So it's just early in the game, and I already lose a very valuable Pokemon to a crit, but that's the game, so whatever. But now I'm going to go into my Cacturn knowing I resist Ghost, and I know he's got Sucker Punch, so I know I resist that too. So I go into the Cacturn, just thinking his last move's Destiny Bond, I can set up on him, and he goes for the Snatch, and I went for Sub, so he takes my Substitute away from me. And now he's behind the Sub, and I'm like, well, crap. I'm going to need to break that Sub pretty much as quickly as I possibly can. So I go for the Sub myself to get behind one, as he goes for the Shadow Claw. It doesn't do a lot. So I get behind the Sub, and now my plan is to, I think that he thought I was going to set up hazards, but I don't want to set up hazards when this thing has Snatch, knowing he could just snatch away from my Spike, so I just go for the Seed Bomb to break his Sub, knowing that he could just keep snatching and avoid my Sucker Punch. So I keep going for like I was gonna go for that, but now I'm gonna go for Sucker Punch, thinking he's just gonna try to break my Sub, and he predicts that and goes into his Dustox, which completely walls my Cacturn set because I'm Sub with Seed Bomb for Stab and Sucker Punch for Stab and Spikes. So I'm like an offensive spiker. And so I just set Spikes and he whirlwinds me away, not wanting to deal with my Cacturn. And I get blown out into my Armaldo, which I can't do anything to this thing. So he switches out into his Wartortle, and I just set up rocks. And I'm like, well, now he's just going to be able to spin him away. So I was like, that was basically a waste. I should have just gone for X-Scissor or Knockoff. But I switch out in the Magmortar, and because I figured he was just going to Rapid Spin, but he Toxics me, so my Magmortar's Toxic. And now, this upcoming turn, I'm just going to go for the Life Orb T-Bolt, thinking, well, I know they're specially defensive, but maybe I can actually take him out. And he lives on a little sliver. It's a good chunklet, but still. And he Rapid Spins away my Spikes and Rocks. So I'm like, why? So, but now he's just gonna, I'm just gonna go for the Fire Blast because I figured he might want to save this thing. Well, I doubted he wanted to save it, but I figured if he's gonna switch, trying to maybe keep me like that, I can just hit something on the switch in. But he just stays and lets it die. But now see, here he goes into his Bayonet, and I know that this Bayonet has Sucker Punch, so I just switch, knowing that he's got Sucker Punch, and I go into the Cacturn to avoid it. And now he's, I can't remember what. Well, we both get our leftovers, and he withdraws, and I think he goes back into his Dustox, as I would go seed bomb, thinking he's just going to try snatching. And now, this upcoming turn, he toxics my cacturn, and I had predicted that he was probably just going to whirlwind, so I went for a set of spikes, because I figured he can't kill me with... I doubted he could kill me with Bug Buzz, because Dustox doesn't exactly have the best special attack in the world. So, I figure this is a defensive one, especially defensive, so I don't think he'll be able to kill me in one hit. But I was completely wrong, because now I'm thinking it's 4 times effective, so I don't know what I was doing. I thought he was just going to whirlwind me here, but he Bug Buzzes me. Because sometimes they don't have Bug Buzz, and I was hoping he didn't, but I should have just Sucker Punched. So, he kills my cacturn off, and I lose that thing to this thing. And I go into my Floatzel, and I figured he was going to go into his Sawsbuck here, but I figured I would just keep it safe and go with my Stab Waterfall. But if I had gone for this Ice Punch I have on this thing, Choice Banded, it would have killed this thing in one hit, I guarantee it. But because this Waterfall, which is resisted, does over half. So I know it would have killed. So I wish I made that prediction, but, you know, I was just playing it safe, because I figured why risk it. So I go in the Magmortar, pretty much as Death Fire, see what kind of Sawsbuck it is, and he sets up a substitute on me. And at this point, I'm like, I just gave this thing a free sub. So I gotta break it, and hope maybe he just, like, he Leech Seeds me, and he's faster than me, which is surprising, because I'm timid. So I think he's running full speed on that. And I go for my Hidden Power, and I break his sub, not wanting to miss my Fire Blast. And now I'm going to die to Toxic plus Leech Seed. So that blows. So now I'm down to 33 health, and I'm about to just die off the Toxic. Well, his thing's sitting at like half health. So I go into my Girder, and I make the prediction knowing he's going to switch into his Bayonet to try to resist a Mach Punch, and I go Payback, hoping to kill it, but I'm not the fully invested attacking one. I'm the fully invested in special defense one. So my Payback does do a good chunk, but it doesn't kill, unfortunately. And I should have seen this coming right here, but he tricked my Violator away from me, which really, really sucks, because I lose that extra defense boost on both sides. So I go Payback and kill it off, and I have leftovers now. And at that point, I'm like, well, Girder's just become completely useless, because without a Violate, even though I'm fully invested into the vents, I'm pretty sure I'm going to die to anything. So he sends in his Draft Rig. I'm like, yeah, I'm dying to a Psychic. I'm just going to go Mach Punch to get some damage. And it does almost, like, to get him to half, but he Psychics me. I'm like, I'm dead, because the health's going. But I live because of being fully specially defensive. And I'm going to go for a Mach Punch, and I'm going to get some revenge for earlier when he critted my Gardevoir, which I doubt mattered, but still, and get a crit on his Draft Rig, bring it down. And he goes for the Charge Beam thinking he can kill me with it and get a special attack raise. But the fact that he went for Charge Beam lets me live. I'm 13. So now I'm going to go for another Mach Punch, and I'm going to kill him off. And now my Girder's still alive. Now, this upcoming turn, I watched his videos before, so I know that this thing usually likes to set up a Swords Dance, but I figured he was probably just going to go to kill me because I have such low health. So I went for Mach Punch. I do over half. Now, if I had predicted what I thought he was going to do, and I went for Drain Punch, that thing would be dead, and Girder would be all the way back up to half health. But he Swords Dances, gets +2, And now Girder's about to die because he's got faster priority than me and faint. So poor Girder's about to go down. And I went for Mach Punch just so on the off chance that maybe he would think, I don't know, but I just went for Mach Punch still. Maybe hoping that by some miraculous miracle I'd actually get it off. So I go in the float, so expecting to be faster with my Aqua Jet, but he's faster, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm like, well, Floatzel's about to die. But I live on 88, so good for me. And I Aqua Jet away at his Zangoose, and I get rid of it. So now he goes back into his Sawsbuck, and I switch out, and I go into my Armaldo, which both my Pokemon in the end, these two are choice banded, so I was pretty sure that, you know, I was going to lose this at this point. So he can't do much to me, though, because I'm fully defensively invested, because that Horn Leech did pathetic damage. So he knows that he's not going to be able to kill me with the Sawsbuck, so he just Leech Seeds me before I kill him off with X-Scissor, which I do. And now he's only got his Dustox left, and his Dustox resists, like, my X-Scissor, but since it's fully specially defensive and it's not invested in, like, defense at all, probably, my X-Scissor are still doing extremely good damage, but he just tries bug buzzing me down. And he gets the special defense lower, because that does nothing, though. So I hit him with an X-Scissor, and it does a lot. And he gets his Black Sludge back. And then he gets the Leech Shade, so Armaldo's not going to live, like, probably this next turn. Well, that's what I was hoping, because I just wanted to get out into my Floatzel and waterfall him when he was at really low health, so that I could take the win. A lot easier, like right there. Look at that. I'm on 49 HP. He's on that low, and he would be really easily revenged right there. But then I get all the way down to 5 hit points, and I live that turn, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I didn't want to live it. And he roosts away, so I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I'm not sure if he can live my waterfall now, because he's pretty much all the way back up at full. And my X-Scissor isn't going to take him down below half. Like, I doubted he'd be able to live my waterfall, but I was just praying that because of that Black Sludge recovery, plus that roost, and everything would let him take it. Because I was worried that he had, like, Protect or something to get more health back, and I didn't know if from full health he'd be able to live it. So I go in the Floatzel, and I waterfall him, and his health's going, and his Dustox dies. So that was a good game, Tommy. You know, I barely beat you 1-0. But, anyway, just leave me, you know, like, maybe subscribe if you feel like it, and comment down below. You know, I talk to all my subs, so see you guys. Thanks for watching.